like, oh my God, I can't believe you're killing the hogs. If you don't kill the hogs, and if you're a vegetarian, they're just going to root up and eat all your vegetables, or you ain't got no damn food.
No ears on them. Yeah. Got some teeth on them. Yeah.
Caught hog. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in with us for our very first episode of Hog Hunting with Wovoka Tommy. And I'd like to give a few shout outs for little sponsors that we got going on here. First off, I'd like to give a shout out to No CM Camo at www.thebestcamo.com. Also brought to you by Big Country Hunting Supply. Also, Hog Hunting Association Facebook page. Check them out. Also coming to you by Straight Catch, another Facebook page. And for you tonight, we have a guest with us, which is Brandon Wilson, Brandon Big Country Wilson, and he's an Arkansas guy. And I'm gonna go ahead and let him introduce himself. And here you go.
Yeah, man. I'm Brandon Wilson, owner, operator, Big Country Hunting Supply out of Mineral Springs, Arkansas.
Cool. Give us a little history about who you are, man.
Yeah, man. I come from a small place, Plainview, Arkansas, mountain country. We call God's country here.
All right.
I was born in Phoenix, Arizona. And we moved to Arkansas, and we settled up over there. And a good man was brought into my life that my mom met, and we settled in Plainview, where he was from. And man, he taught me the woods and the mountain life, and I've been in love with it since I was a kid. Cool.
Hey, so you said you was in Phoenix, Arizona. There's not too many hogs in Phoenix, Arizona, right?
Yeah, no, not too many. But I think I was 4 when we left Arizona. I got family.
All right. So then you moved over to Arkansas. That's where you guys settled in. At how old were you when you got into hog hunting, or how'd you get introduced to it?
Well, man. To be honest, I've always been an avid hunter, and as I got older, I mean, growing up, there really wasn't any big number of hogs. My pop was a taxidermist, and I heard stories of him stalking hogs up in the mountains of up around in the Magazine Mountains, and which is part of the Ozarks. And but I had never gone. Well, as I got older, I moved, married, kids, and anyway, I started hunting pieces of property with hogs, and I was brought up around dogs, deer dogs, and rabbit dogs, and from all my old man's brothers, and stalking hogs didn't do anything for me with a gun, so that began my dog search.
Oh, okay.
And the rest of that is kind of history there.
I hear you, man. Yeah, that's my preference too. I mean, people have their preferences. However they get it done, they get it done. Hog hunting is hog hunting at the end of the day, but that's always been my preference as well. I used to just run with a .22 rifle or whatever in the woods and stuff. But as I got into my teenage years, I got introduced to it, and man, I've been hooked ever since. Like you said, the rest is history.
Right.
Yeah. So, what kind of dogs do you run?
Well, my it all goes back to your first, is where it started at. Is I found me a pair of dogs of course, everybody told me not to buy them. Too good to be true. One was a Kimmer cur.
Okay.
And the other dog was a basically straight hog dog, man, just whatever. Probably some feist and mountain cur, and his name was Booger, but he was a really good dog. But man, my foundation is based off of I got into the curs, and I found, you know, down here in the flats and the bottomlands, that's fine and dandy. But when I was going to the mountains, I just felt like I was missing something, and that is when I knew that I needed to get back to kind of my upbringing. I needed some hound.
Okay.
So I got a lot of hound crosses, and I like Catahoulas. So I like to have at least one good full-blown hound, and then like tree and walkers is my go-to.
All right.
As far as hound, and then I cross that into the Catahoulas and to the Kimmer curs, and just to get that nose.
Yeah. I understand.
Like I told somebody the other day, you're going for the nose and you're hoping for the speed.
Right. You got to have that leggy racetrack star.
Yeah, especially in the mountains, man. It's about endurance. You're talking 1,000 foot up, 1,000 foot down, and I just found that the curs, although great, they couldn't just keep going. There's something about a hound's heart that just has no give. Right.
I can understand that, because even though we're down here in Florida in the flat country, you know, a good cur, you know, most of the times they're good for a mile or under, or maybe even a couple miles. You might have some outstanding ones that go further than that. I'm not trying to knock a cur dog or anything, but my friend who's got some plot hounds, and then my other friend, I believe she's a red tick or something. He's not exactly sure what she is, but she is a hound. And man, when they get on the track, we're talking 3 or 4 hours before they finally quit, if they quit.
Right. Yes, sir. A hound, just if they can smell it, they can't give it up. They got to just keep on going.
Yeah. Either nose in the air or nose on the ground, and you're talking 10 miles at least before they give up.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. So let me ask you this: since you've been hunting, running hogs for a while, you got any crazy stories? One where maybe somebody got chased up a tree, or hog came back alive on you or something?
Man, I got one, and it's not even something to really be proud about or anything, but man, you know, you got all kinds of hunters out there, and you know, a houndsman has a lot of pride, but the problem out there to me is, you know, everybody thinks that their way is the way, and you got to kind of have an open mind. So with this story, it's one of those that I got a partner. His name's Jamie Smedley out of Hot Springs, Arkansas, and we've been hunting together for a very long while. I mean, basically, I started with this guy, and it's been super cool with me. Well, man, one of those situations that the bulldogs are cut down, but we still wanted to go hunting, and Jamie has a rough cross, a bird dog Catahoula cross.
Okay.
Thought, you know what? Well, yeah, let's go today. We got Bubba, you know. And we went, man, and I mean, we just had hogs everywhere. We was up in the mountain, and we got right on them. The mountain's my country, and we bait up this pretty decent boar, and as we walked in there, I mean, they had a tight bay on him, and
okay,
underneath a fallen tree.
Yeah.
And man, I just, to be honest, when this rough dog, he would catch generally, but this particular day he was not catching. And me and Jamie was standing 20 yards from that hog, and we was just sitting there, looking at the hog. So our plan, though stupid, we still was going to do it. We was hoping the dogs would distract that hog enough to where either one of us could slip in and leg it. Well, I can't make this up, and I still to this day don't know how it happened. And I got it on camera. I was wearing a GoPro, so I can back this story up. But to this day, I don't understand how my buddy was that fast. But as he was about to make a move, that hog broke and ran straight for him. And I'm telling you, man, in a split second, my buddy drew his pistol and shot that thing, and the head landed on his boots.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I can't make it up. It was the coolest thing I ever seen, even though we don't shoot hogs. Yeah. But he could not. I'm telling you, man, it was almost real that he did that. And he just but the whole cool part about it is, and you'd have to watch the video, it was like nothing happened. He holstered his pistol. That was that. No big deal to him. And I'm just standing there with my jaw open like, just a split second, he had that pistol drawn and shot that hog. And like I said, it was almost like it was out of a movie. He shot that hog and it just landed on his boots. And, he wasn't no beast by no means, but he had a good 2 inches of teeth on him.
Oh, that's enough to do some damage, man.
Yes, and we was in a bunch of pin oaks, so we didn't really have anything to jump up on.
Do or die situation, huh?
It's crazy to this day, and it's kind of just one of them stories that we talk about from now here and there, just laughing, because it was just me and him, which is we don't hunt with many people at all, but it's mainly me and him together.
Right.
So I don't know. I've always found that was a cool story.
Yeah, that's crazy there. That's them just quick moment. What is it like? Muscle memory? You know what I mean?
It was just he played it off so natural, and like I said, and I guess the point of the story for me would be, don't go flipping hunting unless you got everything to do the job, and we was trying to half-ass it, so to speak.
Right. I understand what you're saying. Just wanting to keep going, just want to stay in the moment and enjoy the evening or enjoy the day for that hunt, right?
Yeah, man. That's all. We was just looking to get in the woods, man, and we still made it happen. And dogs didn't stop at that hog. We kept going for the day. Luckily, shoat run, and we just had a good time, man.
That reminds me of a story when I was a kid, when I was younger. I may have been about 15 or something like that at the time, 14, 15. And we had been running all night, and we didn't catch a damn thing. We was running all night, driving around. I had this little makeshift buggy that was like a cut down, I believe it was an International Traveler, and basically a frame, tires, engine, and wooden seats that were like on galvanized pipe frames or something that were just built off the frame of the buggy.
Right.
And we had been running all night. Everybody was passed out. I think one of my cousins, well, I call them brothers because we're like brothers and sisters, all grew up together. But we were coming into this pasture. We was about to come home, but we was like, let's check this one last pasture. And we get out there. The sun's coming up, dew on the grass. It's kind of foggy a little. and we're going through the pasture. We're going through, and as we're coming up on the last field, it's to where the property is the cutoff of the property, and the next property we got no access to. And we see this big hog standing out there. I believe it was one of my cousins. He was like, "You see that hog? You see that hog?" I said, "Yeah, I see it." He said, "All right, what are we gonna do?" I said, "You know what? We'll just get as close as we can, drop the dogs." And I didn't have no brakes on this buggy, so what we were doing was come in as fast as possible and then kind of slow down behind the hog because he's sprinting across this field. He sees us and he starts sprinting. So we're coming up, and I throw it in neutral. The buggy starts to slow down, and the dogs see it. So they're my cousin's throwing them out. By that time, everybody's awake. There was 4 of us, so everybody's throwing a dog out. We get like 5 dogs on the ground, and 3 of them, pretty much basically trail and catch. They're running catch dogs basically. Right. So they're sprinting across this field, and it's I would say about 400 yards to the other side of the field, and he runs to the end, and then there's this ditch. It didn't have any water in it at the time, but there's a ditch on the edge of the pasture, and he comes up on the other side, and he just turns around and just starts smacking his teeth, waiting for the dogs. He just decided he's going to make a stand right there. So anyway, right. Dogs get there, boom, boom, boom. And this is back before, nylon vest and bulletproof vest or whatever for the dogs and this and that. This is back in the days of 2-inch leather collars or 4-inch leather collars, Anyway, right. Dogs are getting hit, and he's just throwing them left and right. But finally, they get him caught. So they get him caught. We get in there, leg him, pulling the dogs off. And I'm over there on the fence line. We had to jump through a barbed wire fence. It was still on the property that we were on. Luckily, he didn't run north. He ran west. So he was still in the property. And we went through the barbed wire. So I was tying the dogs off. I was putting these little quick slip knots in them, just in case we need to get them off in a hurry or whatever. Thank God I did that. Just as I'm tying about the 4th or 5th dog up to the barbed wire, my mother's boyfriend who is actually sitting on the hog, and he had about 2.5 inch teeth, and he's sitting on top of him. He gets done tying them, and he gets off the hog, and he starts walking towards us, and we're probably 15 yards from him, 10, 15 yards from him. And we're looking back at him, and we were always, how hunting buddies, you're always cracking on each other or, kind of ribbing each other or playing little jokes on each other. Oh, So he didn't really know to take it serious at the moment. But as he's walking towards us, that hog popped that string, jumped up, and he's headed straight towards him. And his nickname is Stub. So we're like, Stub, look out. And he's got this smirk on his face like, all right, you guys are bullshitting me. But when he saw that we were serious and he seen me untying these hogs off the fence, he turned around and looked. Right about that time, that hog was coming up right between his legs. And that hog threw his head up, and Stub jumped at that very moment. And if he didn't, he probably would have got cut in the artery on his right leg up on the inner thigh. That hog cut his pants. He had about a 4 or 5 foot, not foot, but inches of a gash through his pants. And right about that time, that's when them dogs got there and hit that hog again.
All to it. Them dogs give it all to us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, they do. You send them, you got to back them up.
That's right. That is correct. You got to do your part.
Yeah, man. But yeah, when you mentioned that hog turning around on y'all like that close call, that's what that reminded me of.
Right. I mean, generally, if he could have got out of the way, he would have. But he made the right call at the right decision and at the right time. And I just even wide earth, man. That's what. Quick reflexes on that. It was crazy. It was crazy.
I'm surprised you didn't nickname him Doc Holliday from that day on.
Man, like I said, there's so many stories with me and him. You know, when I hunt by myself, which I do a lot.
Yeah.
Everything goes, you know, about right, normal, etc. But when he comes around, man, I don't know. It's like something happens all the time. You know, between him following me and me seeing a giant out in the field, and my Jeep is still rolling, but I jump out of it, hit the back, get the dogs out, and they're just staring at me running across the field like Brandon, you know, Big Country went crazy. But I'm just a dog, and I'm yelling at them like, "Come on!" And man, it's just it doesn't end with our stories. It's always something. But I can say, no matter what, whether we got skunked or anything, I can honestly tell you that between me and my buddy there, we've always had a good time.
Yes, sir. That's what it's all about right there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, we get skunked. Yeah, it kind of affects you a little bit, but still, at the end of the day, you got to go out, hang out with your buddies, and let the dogs get to do what they want to do. You know, let the dogs work.
We've got thousands together between me and him, and it's just always, like I said, and I guess that's why me and him click so good.
Right.
And, you know, but at the same time, Jamie knows that if we plan a hunt or whatever and he ends up, you know, not being able to show, I'm still going. He knows I'm still going to go. And, you know, I think, yeah, it's nice to have buddies and everything, man. And it's nice to hunt with people, but I don't know, man, you get a different outlook if you just load your dogs up. You got what it takes. You're not relying on anyone else, you know, just you and your dogs. And I feel like that's a big thing, especially here in the hog world, man. Everybody's comparing to what they used to have or comparing to somebody else's dogs, man. None of that stuff means jack.
Yeah.
None of it.
Yeah.
If you load your stuff up and go out there and even just get on them, you know what I mean? Yeah, you want to catch a hog, but if your dogs are out there doing their job, that's a success.
Yeah, man.
Dogs are out doing what they're doing, but what I'm saying is, you know, a lot of people will take a lot of pride in their stuff if they just load up and go on their own. I see too many people out there right now. It's like, hey, who wants to make a run tomorrow? And if none of their buddies will go, they end up not going.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, and you're not doing anything for your dogs.
Right.
Load the dogs up and get out there and put in some work, and you'll have yourself some jam up dogs.
Yeah, yeah. You can't make a good dog by keeping it in the pen.
No dog's the same. No two dogs are alike. No matter what, you're not going to have what you used to have. There's going to be something different, man. So it's just like us as humans. You know, we're all different. We're all built different, and I've owned some awesome dogs, and I can't. I would love to have that old dog back. You know,
yeah.
But when that was your time, enjoy the time that you have. Look back on those times, but you can't expect your next dogs to be that dog,
right?
So, and you know, man, for me now, you know, I've evolved as a hog hunter.
Yeah.
I used to be the work to the weekend. You know what I'm talking about? Waiting for Friday night. You know, as soon as I'm off work, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Buddy, I wouldn't be back home till Sunday. Not all day. Somehow I've made it alive between falling asleep at the wheel, you know, pushing the boundaries of just recklessness, to be honest, is what I'm going to call that.
Right.
And now I have a daughter, you know, that's 8, who's been hunting with me quite a bit against mom's wishes there. But my 3-year-old really likes it. So for me now, it's changed. Not about, the goal or the dogs or none of that stuff, but now I'm getting a whole different
appreciation
of the sport, because I got my 8-year-old her first one this past February.
Oh, okay.
And buddy, I learned how tough it was. I had to carry her across about a 6.5 foot deep little river and get her. I had to put in all this work. In the meantime, having a 3-year-old too, watching from the bank and putting in the instruction. But of course, times have changed now. But that's how I learned how to hunt at 8 years old. My old man stopped the truck and told me to walk that way until I ran into him.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be an all-day walk, brother. And,
right.
I mean, I'm not doing that with my kids, but I'm getting them out. We need to preserve our sport.
Yes,
get
sir.
Them away from these. Get them away from the app and all this technology. And there's a lot more to be learned in the woods than killing.
Right.
And I'm happy to say that I'm trying to raise my daughters that way.
And that's a good thing, man. It sounds like you're gonna have some jam up hog hunters on your hands, and they're gonna be out doing the boys there.
Well, I made a short run this morning, and I'll tell you, as soon as I walked in the house, I was in trouble. I got called this morning at 5:00. And guy that lives right down the road wanted to go, and I said, "Well, yeah, let me jump up. It'll take me just a few minutes." And anyway, I was only gone for about 3 hours, but as soon as I walked in, I had 2 girls looking at me, yelling at me about how I went without them.
Hey, at least you know you're doing something right. They love it that much.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I'm all about that too. I mean, my boys, they don't live with me. They live with their mothers wherever they're living at. But when they come around, they like to go check out the woods, and they like to take a ride. And I just recently got back into hog hunting about 1.5 years ago. And my son, one of my sons that lives in Minneapolis, he came down, I believe it was like November. And he was like, "Dad, I want to go with you." I said, "All right." We went out there and ran all day. And, I was wondering, how much he's remembered, or if he remembered anything at all, because he used to go with me all the time when he was younger, till about like 5 years old, 6 years old, before they moved.
Right.
And he remembered some things. He had little, kind of idea of what's going on. But what kind of tickled me is, at the end of the day, I mean, we went hunting all day, and we hadn't got nothing. We got skunked twice already during the day, and it was getting late evening, starting to be evening time where the sun goes down. And all of a sudden, my friend's dog picks one up, and she's a little open, not open every breath, but she's a little open. So, she kind of got that beacon on her, and she starts running this hog. And I mean, we go for about 3 miles. And it's getting to the point where, like, man, we got to end this thing. Because we're going to have to go home soon, so I can have my son up in the morning to go to the airport and stuff. So we dropped about 3 more dogs on it. And finally, they stop it within about a half mile from when we dropped out the fresh dogs. And it was about an 80-pounder, 60-pounder. But what was cool was we had to go around a gate to get closer to where they were at, where they were running in circles. And then all of a sudden, they shot back north. And they crossed a ditch. And that ditch was probably 5 feet deep. And my son, he's probably about 5'7", 5'8". But my 2 friends, they go across that ditch, and he's like, he didn't even ask me or nothing. He just looked at me, gave me a look, turned and dove off in that ditch. And we got gators down here, and he did not give it a second thought or nothing. I mean, he was gone. He went across that ditch, and that ditch is probably about 15, 20 feet wide. And he went through there and followed my friends as they went down along that fence line going west. And I had to go back around with the truck, and I came back around and met them. And when I got there first, but I had a hold of the hog, and soon after, maybe 10 seconds after I get in there, here they come. Here come my friends, and then my son's right along with them, and they got to come back through that same ditch, further down the road, but the same ditch. And he dives back off in there, and he comes in there and grabs the dog and trying to pull it back across the ditch and everything. I was like, yeah, kind of watching him to come into his own, I guess,
Yeah, man. Good man. Making a man.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So we ended the day with a, like I said, it's about a 60, 80 pounder. Better than nothing. I mean, the good time was worth it, but have a little bit of reward was even better.
Yes, sir.
Hey, so what other kind of outdoor stuff do you do? Like any other type of hunting or what you got going on up there?
Well, to be on my who I call my old man was, actually a stepdad.
Yeah.
But
he raised you.
This man taught me the wood, man, and him and his brothers logged this mountain with mules. They come from a big family, and man, he taught me everything about this mountain, and
okay.
He always took me, always treated me like his own man. It really made me. So I've taken a break from deer hunting for the past. He passed almost. Lord, it sounds crazy, but I'm trying to think. I think we're on our 4th year.
Okay.
I get things like that,
Yeah.
Not him, but just that it's happened.
Yeah.
I kind of lost the want to do anything but hog hunt, and but as my kids are coming up, I'm getting back into the deer hunting, and I'm ready to share those same things with my kids. So I just like going, man. I don't care what type of, as long as it involves the woods, I could care less, man. I'd really love to complete my bucket list. I want to go on I want to lion hunt. I want to bear hunt with dogs. It's illegal to bear hunt with dogs here in Arkansas.
Oh, okay.
And I ain't treat any bear. I'm just saying that it's, you can't. It's illegal to run them with dogs.
Yeah.
And I'd love to do that stuff. If it involves the dog, man, I'm all about it. If I can get an invite to do that. And,
yeah.
I occasionally like going on a duck hunt. I live in the duck capital of the world, basically, up here in not too far away from it. And I like to shoot a few birds if possible, and I just love being outside, man. Being in the woods.
Right, I hear you there. That's that reset button, man.
Unless if it was just a picnic, I'd love to go.
Yeah, right. Yeah, man. I feel you on that. That's my reset button to go out to even if it's just cruising,
Yeah.
just looking around.
Yep, just taking a ride.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So it's illegal to run the bear up there, huh? With the dogs?
Yeah, don't have giant numbers like a lot of other states. I mean, I think we have more than what they say, but yeah, at least in where I come from, there's a good amount of bear up there, but you can't do no dogging.
Yeah, I hear you. Florida's like that too. We're in a struggle right now. The like the environmentalists or whatever it is that they use for their studies and whatnot. I don't think they're getting correct numbers, or they're just not reporting correct numbers, because there's plenty of bear here in Florida. And a couple of years ago, it was on the table to open up the season again for Florida. But, the activists and whatever else, they all rallied together, went up to the state capital, Tallahassee, and they got it blocked. So they shut it down and they didn't open it. But I believe there is a need for management, not a free for all, but, management, real type of hunting, conservative, but manage the herd type of deal. And,
Absolutely.
Yeah, and they're just all up against it, man. It just depends on who's up there in the big seats, big capital.
Right. Yeah, man. It's I look back on it like there's no real fur trade anymore,
Yeah.
And without that, the predator numbers are growing at a high rate.
Yeah.
And without some means of trapping and if no one's hunting those animals, they're just going to grow.
Right.
And sometimes limits aren't the solution.
Yeah.
It's just, man, we need to it'd be nice to fix that to where, because that's going to have a great deal of that's going to reflect on your turkey population, all your smaller game.
Yeah.
And the predators out there, the numbers of them, they're just eliminating a ton of the smaller game.
Yeah. Yeah. That's actually the problem here where I live. I mean, we've spoken before before our interview here. So, I'm from the reservation out here in South Florida, and
right.
It's like that here on this reservation. When I was young, I mean, when I say young, I'm talking 14, 15, 16, even up to my early 30s. You could run a hog, 5-6 nights a week. You might catch multiple hogs on a good night, and that could happen multiple times a week. Now, it's to the point where we go out, run our dogs 9 out of 10 times. Our dogs aren't professional dogs, and a dog is going to hunt what it smells as game. So,
right,
9 out of 10 times we're either running into a bear, which is probably the most what we come across of. 8 out of those 10 times, and 1 out of those 10 times we might be running a cat. That was a pretty scary sight.
I get. I bet.
Yeah, and the thing is, we have plenty of cats around here and hardly any hogs. So
You guys have swamp panthers, don't you?
What's that?
Y'all have those swamp panthers, don't you?
Yeah, the Florida Panthers, the Swamp Panthers. It's rumored. This rumor's been hanging around for about 15, 20 years that there was some cats brought in from Texas because they said that was like the closest subspecies that's related to the panther down here. And they claim that the Florida panther is actually a subspecies on its own. So they brought those in to try to regenerate, repopulate, help the genetics and bring it back. And
Florida.
Yeah, down here in Florida.
On a zoo anyway, y'all got dang pythons. And I probably would not be up for a hunt down in South Florida. That stuff is me, man. I can handle cottonmouths. I can handle that stuff. You get into something that's longer than me, and we got problems.
I hear you, man. It depends on how far south you go, because where I'm at is like the tip of the area where those pythons are coming in. But yeah, these cats, they act different now, man. In the past 10, 15 years, they've gotten to where they're not, scared of people. They're hanging out in people's yards. People see them a lot more around here. And like I said, it's just decimated the hog population out here. I mean, practically depleted it to nothing. So we don't even really hunt them out here. You got an outfitter, don't you? You got outfit service? Hunting guide?
Man, yeah. During the cooler months is when I try to get, and I do this basically after the deer season. Hog numbers increase on pieces of property due to feeding and everything else. And after the last little deer hunt there, man, it's kind of full blown. A great time to get out in the woods. I've taken people from way up north. People come from quite a ways away, man, and I have a very high success rate. It's just, but man, to be honest, I don't profit, nothing really, if I can cover a few bags of dog food, etc., that's what I've always done.
Right.
It's not about for the most part, I do family stuff like a father son.
Okay.
Or brothers that live away from each other and they want to come down and just have a good time. So for me, it's more than it's not that I don't look at that as I'm not trying to benefit nothing off of people. You got these people that are charging people $500, $600, $700 to go on hog hunts. Yeah, that's fine if you want to go to other places, big ranches, etc., and shoot them with a gun and all that. But when people come with me, it's more about just getting out, enjoying some beautiful scenery, listening to some dogs, and having a good time.
Right.
I can't guarantee no weights. I don't. It's hunting.
Yeah.
No fences, free range. If we catch a 100-pounder, we caught a 100-pounder.
Right.
Although I've had plenty of people come up, man, got some toads, and but I would not proclaim myself as some big guy, but I've had a great deal of success and some great stories with fathers and sons and people bringing their families out. That's what it's about. Getting away from the norm.
Yes, sir.
I'm a different type of amusement park.
Yeah. I totally understand that, and that's something to be proud of, man. You can provide that opportunity for some family to get back together and get back in touch with each other.
It's what it really boils down to is having a good reputation, taking care of landowners' land, not tearing it up, not leaving trash, and just doing what you're going to say. I've been very blessed. I have a very large amount of acreage here in my state, and it just all boils down to how you treat people and how you treat their land. Right.
That's awesome, man. So on that side of the hunting stories, you got any crazy hunting stories with clients? You don't have to mention any names or anything like that.
Man, there's all sorts that I can think of, but for me, there's no better than the youth.
Yeah.
For taking people out and getting their kid. The one story in particular, and realistically, this wasn't. It's not. I wouldn't per se call it a guide trip or nothing, but it was me and a couple other guys, and it was basically a dad-daughter day.
Okay.
It was grown men and three little ladies.
Oh.
And we got them out in the woods, and we got a couple of them, their daughters. We got them in on the pig action, and my daughter, she hangs with me, helps me handle the dogs and all that. But man, for me, it's all about the youth, man. I get more enjoyment out of that than anything. Getting kids involved and those stories will beat any paying person ever. Of course.
That's that pay it forward type of scenario.
Absolutely, man. It's just that's something that they'll remember forever. You only get one first,
right?
And for people to come with me and get that, I mean that's better than any dollar you'll ever get.
Yeah, man.
In my opinion, I have a soft spot for the youth. So it's like I said, on that side of business, brother, I am horrible. I am not a good businessman. When I'm they'll call and say, hey, and I shoot them a rate, and then they go, yeah, it's going to be me and my daughter, and I'm like, oh man, it's free. I got a soft spot for for people taking their kids and like I said, I'm not a good businessman when it comes to hog hunting, so I'd rather charge nothing and get all the reward of the emotions and stuff like that. Because this isn't, no land is, I don't care if it is privately owned, but no land is really owned, right? I mean, we didn't create it. It's meant to be for enjoyment.
Yeah.
And go out there and build those moments with them. So that's what it's all about on that part of it, man.
Yeah, man, I hear you. And you got a good heart, Brandon, and I'm pretty sure somebody's looking out for you for that.
And man, if you can be greedy, you can only think about the dollar, but that dollar ain't going to do much for you when you're dirt.
No, sir.
And yeah, it's nice to have a little bit of change to pass on, but what legacy do you want to leave behind when you're gone?
Right.
And I would much rather be the guy that would help the neighbor, that would help the people that don't have the opportunities of me. We take a lot of things for granted. It's just the human nature. And, to you and me, we're thinking, well, heck, man, it's just hog hunting. But for somebody that's from, say, just using, not anything in particular here, but we'll just say a guy from Ohio, that's not a normal thing.
Yeah.
They don't know what that is.
Yep.
It's a completely different thing. So, yeah, we think of it as, we're just going out here and doing this. But to someone else, that might be the coolest thing they ever did. Yeah,
I hear you loud and clear on that. That's for me, growing up here in South Florida, I see all these swamps. It's beautiful, don't get me wrong. But I grew up looking at it, every day, 44 years. And I still see the beauty in it. And I feel, I take it to heart seeing these invasive species of vegetation taking over our home. But at the same time, when I see other videos like territory that you're in, those rolling hills with the creek bottoms and stuff like that, I'm like, man, that's some beautiful country,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, you put me where you're at, you might see a 6'6" dude running back to a buggy real quick if you said something about some big old anaconda or something. I mean, all I can say is that's just I can't imagine that, man. It just blows my mind. But and sadly, where you're at, I do a great deal of reading, but it's the people that's ruining it.
Yeah, it's
the people, them species.
Yeah, it is wild,
and if nothing's hunting anything and they're top of the food chain, it's hard to get rid of them.
Right. Yeah, that's ultimately man ruining everything for the next man. Is what it is.
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you a good few minutes here. You want to plug us in on your online store that you're building up and your raffles and your business side of things. So if you want to go ahead and give us a rundown on that and how people can get a hold of you and stuff like that, go ahead and put it in now.
Oh, all right, man. Well, man, I pride myself in doing business, having the personal touch. I feel like a bunch of going back to what we were just talking about. It's all about a dollar to a lot of people, and I'm all about helping the dog man. And it does, yes, I'm geared towards the dog man. Yes, I can get a ton of other products, and I don't mind getting those products at all. And for the people that don't dog, it's just I just feel like the standard has gotten lost. I'm tired of seeing. I got tired of seeing all the junk products. Buying cheaper isn't necessarily the way to go.
Yeah.
If you buy yourself a quality product that's going to give you more life, your money ahead, than buying 3 of the cheap, just using collars, for example. You can buy you some cheap collars. Everybody knows it, but they're not going to last you, and you're going to keep replacing them. Why not buy a quality product and get it over with?
Right.
And that is what I'm about. I try to help everybody with their Garmin refurbs. I am building a website. It will be www.bigcountryhuntingsupply.com.
Okay.
It's taking that time, man. I've only been up and running about, really running about 4 months, almost 5, and it blew up. And I have a great following, man. You can't do nothing without good people, and if you have good people backing you, you can go places. And I do have a Facebook page, Big Country Hunting Supply, and I do drawings. I'm just trying to offer people a chance of getting in some stuff and getting it for a fraction. Stuff's expensive in our world, brother.
Yeah, it is.
It's so expensive, and a lot of people don't have the opportunity to go and buy those products. It might be on their wish list, and they might not ever achieve the goal, So
yeah,
it brings me joy that I can put these products into people's hands that don't have the same opportunities. It's not a level playing field out there, brother.
No, it isn't.
Tons of circumstance, tons of there's no such thing as equality in the workforce. Unfortunately, most cases people aren't getting paid what they deserve, and then families and everything. It's just a lot to balance, and so I'm very happy to be partnered up with a lot of good people too that have the same values, like Alex with thebestcamo.com, Nancy and Kevin Hall with Paws Are Protected. I've been doing business with Dave Williams for many years, owner of Southern Cross Cut Gear.
Okay.
He's been super great. I do know that I can call him personally and get a lot of stuff handled. I try to just, not that I don't want to carry the cheap stuff. I can't back it, carry the quality products. And if something happens and you got it from me, I'm going to take care of it. Yeah. And once again, you call me, you get a hold of me.
Yeah.
I'm always open to talk to anybody. If I'm up, I'll give it my best. So, when you're buying a product, I'm going to leave it on this note. When you're buying a product, it's no secret, man. Everybody's got the same prices.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's always asking, "Hey, what's the prices?" Everybody has the same prices, man. But you're not buying the product; you're buying the service.
Right.
And that I'm trying to set the bar higher is in the service department. So. It's been really awesome hanging out, and I do appreciate all the love that I get from everybody. And we can't do nothing but get bigger, brother.
Yeah, yeah. And I can personally testify to what you all just said, because that's how I came across your product and your raffles and stuff. I seen it posted by Alex, and he tagged me in it. I checked it out, gave it a shot, and I won a couple things and bought a couple things from you. But when somebody's giving out a number that says they're going to be the one picking up the phone to answer your call, that goes to show you that person takes pride in their product and their service, and which is the case. Just like today, I called your number. I looked up your Facebook page to get your number, which is that's Big Country Hunting Supply. I looked on there and your number's on there. I called you and you answered. So that's pretty good. And then anytime I've had an issue, I got a hold of you and it got resolved quick. Whether it's something that
Right.
I needed.
The thing with the business side is as you grow, time flies throughout the day, and on any given day, maybe and it's going to happen. Maybe I missed one call, man, but I do try to get back to each and every person. It takes a little time, you know, but I do my best to get back with each and every single person. There's Facebook messages, there's text messages on 2 phones, and phone calls rolling in left and right. On any given day, I could be on the phone for 10 hours,
Yeah.
And then also doing the, running the business. So, but I do my best to get to everybody in a timely manner. And especially for the local people here, I let them know, I don't close at 5 o'clock.
Right.
If I'm around, I'm here to help.
Yeah.
And I've had multiple customers come here 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night. Just last night, I was helping a man locate a collar that somebody took off of his dog and ditched it in a pond.
Wow.
Oh God! And I mean, I had a full supper in front of me, and I was about to get in it, man. I didn't even get to take one bite when he called me, and I don't know, man. Like I said, definitely not boasting. I'm a super humble person, but I got up and got my headlamp, got my boots, said, "Let's go," and helped him find that collar.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So somebody just took it off the dog and just threw it in the ditch. Yeah,
man. Unfortunately, this particular man was running some, getting his dogs in shape for deer season. He let them stretch their legs, and he ran beep style collars on these dogs. They super long range and gonna put in some miles, and it so happened that his dogs ended up over here by my house, and he actually had stopped by before we even knew of the situation, and we was just shooting the bull here in the driveway, no big deal, and we seen his dog pop out in the road up there by my house, and he's like, "All right, well, I better catch that dog," and all that, and okay, man. And I come in to eat. I was starving, and anyway, he ended up. I actually was on the phone with Kevin and Nancy Hall of Paws Are Protected, and he kept calling me, and I just assumed, hell, I'll call him back when I'm done. And he called me again. I said, I better answer this. Hold on a minute. And he said, man, they took my name tag, my name collar, and my beep off my dog.
Wow.
And, it's just one of those things, man. Unfortunately, unless you have we know who did it. And heck, we followed a certain pair of tracks down this dirt road from the house here. It was it was kind of an open and shut as soon as we looked at that pond, which was full of vegetation and little clover up on top. Basically the whole pond was green on top.
Yeah.
And there was one circle about 75 yards off of the road that was water. And I said, right there's going to be that collar. And sure enough, I got my boots and walked out there, and that's where it was.
Wow.
So, that's a felony offense.
Yes, sir.
Here in Arkansas, a lot of states are moving to that, and I hope they do.
Yeah.
These dogs aren't just dogs, man. They tend to be part of your family, and it's a part of the way that you live. And no matter what sport you do, whether it's hog hunting, coon hunting, squirrel hunting, I'm not. I'm a hog man myself, Mr. Tommy. But I don't care. I'm a dog man.
Yeah.
I'm here to body on any kind of hunting dog.
Yep.
Squirrels to lion, bear, whatever your needs are. I'm a dog box distributor too for Goodman Metal Products. I'm delivering a box to New Mexico. So
wow.
Yeah, man. It's just been a real blessing, man, and I hope that I can help many people.
Good deal, man. That's good to hear. Yeah, people are going to hear this podcast, and they're going to hear your story, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be coming your way because of that too. You know what? We're kind of running over the time a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here. But I sure do appreciate you coming into our show and giving us an interview and giving us a rundown of who you are and sharing some stories and some of your love for the wilderness with us.
Well, man, I love it, man. If I can ever be a help, y'all just let me know.
10-4. Sure do appreciate it. All right, that was Brandon Big Country Wilson from Big Country Hunting Supply. And he's got a Facebook page, so you can go over there and check it out. Pretty much he can get you anything for any kind of hunting is what the man said. So you can hit him up. He's got his phone number on there. If he can't get to your call, he'll get back to you. And he's one of the guys that's helping support this show. And then this episode is brought to you by No Seum Camo at www.thebestcamo.com. Also, Big Country Hunting Supply. Once again, that was Brandon Wilson, Big Country. And also, we got Hog Hunters Association. Excuse me there. That's a Facebook page. You can get on there, check it out. And also brought to you by Straight Catch. And I'm going to apologize here to the audience, but this is our first episode. I've never touched any kind of audio equipment, synchronizing with a computer or anything like that. This is my first podcast. I've crashed course over the past 3 or 4 days to get this episode put together. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And kind of forgive me if you hear something dropping in the background, a little bit of heavy breathing, phone buzzing with a text coming in. But we will get better. We plan on continuing to bring you some good shows and bring you more guests that have hog hunting stories and whatever else they may be doing for their livelihoods. We sure do appreciate you guys tuning in with us and catch us on the next show. Woo! Caught hog.